सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Now we start with the Padya Prabandha. And then the Tikakara has a Mangalacharanam. Yatradhyastamidam sarvam meyamatra vidyaya bhati no bhati yajnanad tadasmi brahma chit sukham. It's Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Yatra adhyastam idam sarvam me matradi avidya bhati no bhati yajnanat tadasmi brahma chit sukham. Yatra avidya me matradi sarvam adhyastam. Yatra, that on which avidya, because of ignorance, meya matradi. Meya means prameya, what is known. Matru means pramatru, pramata, the knower. So that upon which sarvam, all of this, consisting of meya matru, the prameya pramata, the knower known, duality, the entire universe consisting of the known and knower, adhyastam, superimposed or dhyaropitam. So that Paramatma upon whom the entire universe made up of the knower known duality is superimposed because of ignorance. Avidya bhati. Because of ignorance, all this maya the Nam Rupatmak Jagat consisting of the knower known duality shines because of ignorance. No bhati yajnanat. Yajnanat, no bhati, and by knowledge of which this maya the Jagat, this duality, na bhati, no bhati, certainly does not shine. Tadasmi brahma chitsukam brahma ahamasmi. That Brahma, I am. What is the nature of Brahma? Chitsukam, consciousness as well as happiness. Satchidanandam Brahma, I am. So with this Mangalacharanam, the Tikakara, Sri Ramatirtha, begins the Tika, or its gloss or explanation of the text, the Padya Prabandha. Prabandha means an essay or composition. Gadya, the prose. So we have studied the prose section of this text, UpadeshSahasri. And now we are beginning the study of the Padya or the metrical composition, poetic composition, metrical composition of the same text. So what does the Tikakara say in introducing this Padya Prabandha or the section which is metrical or poetical? So let us read that. Tadevam Sarvopanishad Arthasara Sangraham Gadyabandha Prabandhena Sanshepatah Yuktya Upadeshya Punarapi Uktameva Arthajatam Padyabandha Prabandhena Sopaskaram Vistarena Upadeshtu Kamaha Bhagavan Bhashyakaraha Padya Grantharambhe Grantha Pratipadya Paradevata Namaskara Rupam Mangalam Kritam Shishya Shikshartham Shlokena Upanibadnati Chaitanyam iti. Tadevam, thus in this manner, Sarvopanishad Artha Sara Sangraham Sangraham, the collection, Sara of the essence, of Artha the meaning, Sarvopanishad of all the Upanishads. So, the entire collection of the essence of the teaching of all the Upanishads. Upadeshya, having taught, where Gadya Bandha Prabandhena, by the portion of the text which is the prose, by that the teacher has already taught us. Sanshepatah, in brief. Yuktya, with reasoning. Sangraham, the essence of the collection of the collection, of the essence of the teaching of all the Upanishads. So that is what we studied. And that essence has been taught Yuktya, with reasoning. Sanshepatah, in the Gadya, the prose section, it has been rather briefly explained. Punarapi, once again, Uktam eva artha jatam. Again, jatam means groups, collection. So same meaning. Whatever was stated in the prose section, that very same teaching. Padyabandha Prabandhena Upadeshtu Kamaha Bhagavan Bhashyakara, who is desirous of teaching, that very same teaching, the very same essence, very same meaning, Padyabandha Prabandhena, by in a metrical form, poetical form, Vistarena Upadeshtu Kamaha. So what was taught briefly in the prose section, now the Bhashyakara, the author, is desirous of teaching the same in detail. So Upaskaram, along with all its accessories, Padya Bandha Prabandhena, by the Prabandha or the essay of the section consisting of the poetry or metrical, Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Padya Grantha Arambhe. Arambhe, in the beginning of the Padya Grantha, this metrical section, Grantha Pratipadya Paradevata Namaskaram Mangalam Kurdam. Begins with Mangalam, Mangalacharanam, with a prayer, with an auspicious beginning or with a prayer. What's the nature of prayer? Namaskar Rupam Mangalam, of the nature of the salutation, prostration, surrender. Paradevata, to the Supreme Deity, which is Param Brahman. Grantha Pratipadya. That Param Brahma, which is the Supreme Devata, which is the Ishta Devata of the author, the Bhashyakara, which is Grantha Pratipadya. So that which is delineated in this text, that it is the subject matter of this text, same Param Brahma, is now remembered by Bhashyakara with salutation, prayer. For what? Sumangalam Krutam Shishya Shikshartham. The Namaskar Rupa, the Mangalam, the Mangalacharanam, the auspicious beginning, the prayer of the nature of the salutation or prostration to Param Brahma, the Supreme Deity, which is the subject matter, which is delineated in the very text. Shishya Shikshartham. So that may be done in the mind. So Bhashyakara may have done that prayer in the mind, but he expresses it in the verse. Shishya Shikshartham, so that the posterity also, the successive, the disciples, or successive lineage of the teachers and disciples, although also follow that tradition of beginning their work with a prayer. Shlokena Upanibadnati. That prayer has been now composed in the form of a verse. Chaitanyam iti. Here Anandagiri says the same thing, but anyway, let me see. Sakala Upanishad Arthasara Sangrahikam UpadeshSahasri, which says Gadya Padyadvikam Prarmamana Bhagavan Bhashyakara. See, with this Tikakaras, the text begins with Padya and then Gadya. With Ramatirtha, it begins with Gadya and then with Padya. So these books begin with this poetical composition. But it does says Gadya Padyadmikam Prarmano Bhagavan Bhashyakara Chikir Shitasya Grantha Avignena Samapti Prachaya Gamanabhyam. Anandagiri says that the purpose is Avignena Samapti. That we begin an auspicious thing with a prayer so that the task is completed without any obstacle. Prachaya Gamanam. We also want that this text also should find, it should spread among the people who are needy, who want it. So not that after publishing the book it should remain in the shelf of the publisher, it should go into the hands of the seekers, aspirants, who would benefit from that, which is the purpose of this text, writing that may enable the aspirants to accomplish that goal of life, which is moksha. Shishtachara Paripalana Paralabdha Adrushta Siddhe Cha. Shishtachara Paripalanam. In so doing, Bhashyakara also followed the Shishtachara, the achar or conduct that has been set into motion by the Shishta or the learned people. So the learned or the cultured elders, the tradition that the learned and cultured elders have started, that Bhashyakara also wants to follow that tradition, and by so doing, Parilabdha Adrushta Siddhecha, and that also earns punya. So prayer, remembering Ishvara, performing a prayer also creates adrushta, punya ka punya, or the virtue is also created. The tradition also is followed. The tradition that has been set into motion by the elder, the acharyas, that is also followed. that the task of composing the text also gets completed without obstacle, and then the text having been completed also finds its way to the right people. All of these that's the purpose of this Mangalacharana. Vishishta Ishta Devata Tattva Anusmarana Purvakam. Anusmaranam, remembering. Of what? Tattva Anusmaranam, remembering the very tattva, the very truth, essence of Vishishta Ishta Devata Tattva. The specific Ishta Devata. Everyone has their own Ishta Devata, the chosen deity or deity that is worshipped. And the one for Bhashyakara is Param Brahma. Therefore, these salutations are, or prayer is made to that Ishta Devata, the chosen deity, the deity that he worships. Here is Anusmarana Purvakam. So, Namaskara Purvakam, Tattva Anusmarana Purvakam. So, the Mangalacharanam can be Namaskara, salutation, Tattva Anusmaranam, remembering, bringing to mind the Tattva, the nature of the Ishta Devata, nature of Ishvara, or benediction, or blessing. That's the third way. Anusmarana Purvakam, Tad Namaskaruvam Cha. So this Mangalacharanam involves as both Anusmaranam, remembrance of the Tattva, of the Ishta Devata, and Namaskara, salutation to the Ishta Devata. Mukhataha Sampadayan. So this is being said Mukhataha in so many words. Kantataha, Mukhataha, in so many words it has been said. Meaning that you can perform the prayer in your mind also. But what is done in the mind also is specifically expressed in words. Asya Sharirika Prakaranasya. So Anandagiri says that this is Prakaranam, this is the treatise. Sharirika explaining the Sharirika Bhashya. So Bhashyakara's Bhashya of the Brahma Sutra is called Sharirika Bhashya. Everybody has named their Bhashya depending upon what their concept of Atma is. So Ramacharya may call it Anu Bhashya because he thinks that Anu is the measure of the Atma. Bhashyakara has interestingly named the Bhashya Sharirika. Sharire Bhavaha, so Sharirika. So one that obtains in Sharira is Jivatma. Atma is subject matter of this Bhashya. Prakaranam, this is Prakaranam. So this gives a section, this is a section of this Sharirika Bhashya. It will not treat all the topics that are treated by the Brahma Sutra and the Bhashya, but Prakarana means a certain topic or section is done. Mainly the Brahma Vidya Prakarana. The Sharirika Bhashya being the text, Sharirika, the Brahma Sutra being a complete Shastra, will also have the Upasana and the results of the Upasana, etc. But that is not dealt with here much. Tadiyeva Anumandajatam Sujayati. Therefore, here in the prayer also, Bhashyakara indicates that this being a treatise of the Sharirika Bhashya, same Anubandha Chatushtaya, same fourfold factors which are taken into account before studying or beginning of any text also apply here. So this is what Anandagiri says about the Mangalacharanam. So Chaitanyamiti. Let us read the Mangalacharanam. So this Padya Prabandha, the first chapter is Upodghata Prakaranam. There are 19 chapters, of which this is Upodghata or the introduction. So first, every chapter has a name. This one is called Upodghata Prakaranam. Chaitanyam sarvagam sarvam sarvabhuta guhashayam yat sarva vishayatitam tasmai sarvavide namaha. Chaitanyam, of the nature of consciousness, sarvagam, all pervasive, sarvatra gacchati, or that which goes into all means pervades everything. Sarvam, not only it pervades everything, it is everything. So there is no difference between what is pervaded and what pervades. So vyapya, vyapaka, duality is not. The sarvam is vyapya, so that which is pervaded. And sarvagam, that which pervades, both are one only. Sarvabhuta guhashayam. Guha means the cave. Asham Shete, the one that dwells in the Guha, the cave of all the beings, where Guha here is the intellect or the mind, antahkarana. So one that dwells in the minds of all the beings as their witness, as the illuminator of all the mind, and the witness of the mind. Yat sarva vishayatitam. That way, atitam transcends sarva vishaya, all the vishayas or all the objects. Is sarvam also. It is all, it pervades all. At the same time, sarva vishaya atitam, that transcends all the objects. It pervades all the objects. It is all the objects. It is immanent, all pervasive. At the same time, sarva vishayatitam, that transcends everything. So, sarva vishayatitam, that it transcends everything, is the true nature of Brahman. The true nature is transcendental reality. Same one also pervades. It is Paramadhika Satta as well as the Vyavaharika. What we call Vyavaharika Satta also is nothing but the manifestation of the same truth, which is transcendental. Tasmai Sarvavide Namaha. Tasmai to that. Sarvavide, Sarvis Sarvam Veti, the one that knows everything, the omniscient. So, to that omniscient Chaitanya consciousness, Namaha, my salutation. So many things are said about the Devata here. The word Param Brahma is not used here. But what is used is Chaitanyam. So let us see what the Tikakara has to say. First explains Tasmai Namaha. So it's Tasmai Samanyatah Prasiddhaya Namaha Prahvi Bhavo Bhuyat Ityatha. So Tasmai Namaha, to that my salutation, my namaskara. So Tat is the Tasmai, the fourth case of the pronoun Tat. Tat means that, so that which stands for everything. So that which is samanyataha prasiddham, that which is well known to everybody in general. The Paramatma is known to everybody. Not that nobody knows about that there is, even if somebody says there is no God, then also, so that is known to everybody. Meaning that God has a place in life of everybody. So samanyata prasiddham, everybody knows that there is God. What the specific nature is that people may not know. So first of all, brings our mind to that which is samanyata, known in general. Tasmai namaha, to that my salutation. Samanyata prasiddhaya Namaha Prahvi Bhavo Bhuyat. Bending down, prostrating to me, this prostration be to that Lord. To that Anandagiri says, Vang Mano Dehanam Prahvi Bhavo Bhuyat Namaskara. Vang Manah Dehanam. My salutations by speech, by the words, Manah with the bhava, the attitude that also follows the words, and the body that manifests that attitude. So salutation is carried out at three levels. Level of body where you can see it is the posture of said prostration. It also expressed in words and accompanied with a proper attitude in the mind. Meaning that by my whole being, my entire being, my being consists of the body, mind and speech. By my entire being, my salutation, my bowing down to that Lord. So that, now who is that? So the Tika says, Tasya Vishesha Jignasayam Lakshanam Aha. Tasya Vishesha Jignasayam. Jignasa, Jnatamicha, desire to know. See, desire to know something arises in our mind. When we know that it is, when we know something is there in general, then only can arise the desire to know that in particular. So jignasa or desire to know something is always to know the vishesha, the particular aspect of that thing. Because I must know that it is there. If I hear that there is something called Timbuktu, first, where is Timbuktu? What is Timbuktu? So what, where, all of these are the vishesha, to know the particularities of Timbuktu. When I know that, it is there in the first place. So today you want to know what is this Facebook and what is WhatsApp and what... Maybe 50 years ago nobody knew because that was not known at all. What kind of apps are there? You want to know what is that app and what is... Provided, you know, have you heard there is something called this? There is Panchanga Swamiji, there is an app called Direct Panchangam. I want to download. But you may want to know the specific about something provided that you know it is. Lots of things we don't know. In our telephone also there may be a million things. I don't know about them. So desire to know how it operates does not even arise. When you know this can be done, that can be done, this can be done, how to do that? So desire for a particular or specific arises provided something is known, in the existence is known in general. So Ishvara is there. To that Ishvara or Param Brahma, Paramatma, my salutation. Then arises the jignasa, the desire. What's the nature of that Paramatma? Tasya Vishesha Jignasaya. When jignasa, jnatamicha, there is a desire for knowing vishesha, the particular aspect of that Lord who is known in general. Lakshanam aha. Lakshana, the characteristic is being stated. Not visheshanam. Visheshanam is the attribute. Lakshanam is the inherent quality, inherent nature. Visheshana is quality and Lakshana is the inherent nature, which is always there in a thing. The Visheshana can come and go, but Lakshana will never come and go, will always be there. So Lakshana Sarvavede iti. So text said Sarvavede namaha. Tasmai Sarvavede namaha. Tasmai namaha. Tasmai Sarvavede namaha. to that one who is all-knowing. So Tikakara says, Sarvam Vete Iti Sarvavita Tasmai. Sarvam Vete, one who knows everything is called Sarvavit. To that Sarvavit, to that all-knowing, my salutation. Sarva Shabdena Bhutam Bhavata Bhavishyata Ityeta Etadatmakam Jagaduchyate. So is Trikalagnya. Lord is the omniscient. What is omniscient? What knows the past, present and future. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjana bhavishyani bhutani. Lord Krishna says. So sarva shabdena, the word all includes bhutam, the past, bhavat, the present, bhavishyat, the future. It is etadatmakam jagaduchyate. By sarva, by all is meant jagat, or this creation, consisting of the past, present and future. Everything is known. Explaining further, tat sarvam sarvavastham sarvada savitruvate sannidhi satta matrena prakashayate sarvavit. So how does Ishvara know? Is there a knower known duality there? Does he have no worship when he knows everything? Says no. Savitravat sannidhi satta matrena. Just as Savitru or the sun, you can say knows the entire universe. Not that there is a knowerness there, but then prakashayat, the sun illumines everything. Again, illumines is a verb which may create the idea that there is the doership or act of illumination. The sun is the illuminator, the locus of the act of illumination. Says no, sun does not illumine. Sannidhi satta matrena, merely by the presence. Just as the sun, merely by the presence, illumines everything, so Ishvara, Chaitanya, merely by the presence, illumines everything. Savitruvat illumines what? Sarvam, sarvavastham, sarvada. It illumines sarvam, everything, sarvavastham, all the states of everything. So not only it illumines in general, but illumines particular. Waking, dream, deep sleep, balyadishu api, jagratadishu atada, sarvasu avasthasu api. All the avastha, the states of the body, the states of the mind, sarvastham. So not only illumines me, but illumines all the states of my body, all the states of my mind, but in and out, everything is illumined. Sarvada, all the time. Everything, in every state, at all the time, is illumined by the Lord, just by the mere presence, by the mere conscious presence, just as the sun by its mere presence illumines everything. In that sense, it is called knower, understand. Here, knowing means illumining, that's all. Not that there is the act of knowing or there is agency of knowing. It is just being there, but so illumination is knowledge here. But why do you say that? Because consciousness cannot be seen. How do you say that consciousness illumines the world? Why not world shines on its own? Can this world of name and form not shine on its own? Why do you say that it is illuminated by consciousness? So Tikakara says, Nahi idam jadam swasatta sfurtyoho स्वतंत्रम भवति अतः यदधीन सत्ता स्फूर्तिमद इदम तदस्ति सर्वज्ञं सर्वविद सर्वाश्रयः इति तटस्थ लक्षणं सिद्धं भवति इति भावः. इदं जडं स्वसत्ता स्फूर्त्यो स्वतंत्रम न भवति. This universe, which is called Sarva or all, is the names and forms, but its jadam is unconscious. And that unconscious cannot be swatantra, satta sfurtyo. It cannot be independent even in existence or illumination. What is jadam or unconscious derives existence from something else, as well as intelligence from something else, as well as shining or revealing also from something else. Swasatta sfurtyoho, for its existence and for its shining or revealing, swatantram na bhavati, it is known that jadam, unconscious, not independent, and still we know everything. The whole universe is known. That means that it is illumined by something else. The universe exists. That means that there is something that imparts existence to that. The universe shines. That means that there is something that illumines the universe. So even though you may not see it, even though right now we may not see the sun, the fact that all of this illumined means that the illuminator is there. That this world of names and forms exists, but that it doesn't have an independent existence because unconscious, therefore there is something that imparts existence to that. It shines in our consciousness, but then it doesn't have the freedom to shine independently because unconscious, therefore there is something that illumines that. So that is how by virtue of this universe or world being known, it existing, is known, proves that or points that to that something that imparts satta and sfurti. So that is how the existence of Brahman is known through the universe. See, yato va imani bhutani jayante, that from which the universe is, from which it emerges, by which it is sustained, into which it merges back. So that way also you can see that because the universe is there. There is creation, sustenance, resolution, that is something from which it is created. So that is how also you point out the existence of the cause. Here, the existence of illuminator is pointed out. The universe is, it exists, it shines. That means that there is something that imparts existence and intelligence to that. So that's Tadasti Sarvajnam. It must serve it, all-knowing, all-illuminating, Sarvashaya. What is Ashaya? It is a very locus because it imparts existence. It is Sarvavit because it imparts the knowledge. Iti tatastha lakshanam siddham bhavati. It's not Swarupa. Tatastha means incidental characteristic. Swarupa lakshanam, inherent characteristic. Tatastha lakshanam, incidental characteristic. If the world is there, then you know that there is illuminated the world. World is not there, then the illuminator also is not there. You can't arrive at it. So when you point out Devadatta's house, that the red car is parked in front of which, that is Devadatta's house, the red car is only incidental, it's not always there. Right now, it helps you identify Devadatta's house. So Jagat also is not always there. When it is there, then you know that there is something that imparts Satta and Sfurti, and that's how this is incidental characteristic, Tarasya Lakshanam. Continuing. Evam Jagat Pravritte Sthiti Samhara Nyamakattvena Sanmatrataya Tatasthena Lakshitasya Swarupa Lakshanam Vadan Sarvishaya Vedanashrayataya Sarvitvam Iti Vaisheshikadimata Shankam Varayati Chaitanyam Iti. Even in this manner, Jagat Pravritti Sthiti Samhara Niyamakattvena. Because the omniscient one knows the past, the present and future. Past means the Utpatti. Present means the Sthiti. Future means the Samhara. So that way also is included Jagat. Pravritti, the creation of Jagat. Sthiti, the sustenance of Jagat. Samhara, the destruction of Jagat. That also we find. The universe constantly, the act of creation, sustenance and destruction constantly taking place. Comes, goes, comes, goes, comes, goes. Constantly going on. And this meaningfully sustained. This whole cycle of creation, sustenance, resolution is constantly and meaningfully sustained. It's not that creation takes place for the sake of creation. Serves the purpose. Siddhi, sustenance, serves the purpose. Distraction, serves the purpose. Jagat pravritti, siddhi, so pravritti or utpatti both. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam. The pravritti or utpatti. So creation, sustenance, resolution as well as one that impels all the activities. Niyamakattvena, we also find the whole universe is controlled, governed, so there is the ordainer. Sanmatrataya, that entity is, that much you can arrive at. Because the universe is controlled, regulated, therefore there must be a controller, a regulator, ordainer must be there. It's a niyamaka. Because there is constantly the creation, sustenance, dissolution in the universe, therefore there is that, because of which, because universe cannot create itself. It cannot regulate itself. It cannot resolve itself. Therefore, it points out to the presence of something that is responsible for creation, sustenance, resolution, as well as the niyama, or that everything is in order. Sanmatradaya, that it is, this much we know, tatasthena lakshitasya. So that's how Ishvara is what we arrive at by observation of the universe. So the universe leads to arriving at the conclusion that Ishvara is. Universe cannot be unless Ishvara imparts existence to that. Universe cannot be known unless Ishvara imparts the shining to that. Jagat, the world cannot be unless it is created, sustained, dissolved, ordained. So this very universe leads us to the existence of Ishvara. To only us, meaning those who are faithful people. Those who Shraddha. Meaning that when you have what we call Anukula Chintanam, it is not that to everybody the universe leads to Ishvara. There are those who look at the world and dismiss Ishvara. Because how can Ishvara create this so much disorder, so much suffering, etc. So, depending upon the criteria that you have for arriving at Ishvara. Because according to Vedanta, Jagat is mithya anyway. If it is Satyam, then also there is an order, because there is karma. So karma explains all the phenomena in the universe. So we don't get stuck with something. Just because there is suffering doesn't mean that's the only reality. It is all, there is a reason. Whatever we observe is the effect, karya, and there must be karanam, which is karma, and that way to us everything is in order. So those of us who accept the law of karma or the karya, the niyama of the cause and effect, to us everything is in order. Because that karma provides the order. But those who don't accept that, they don't see the purpose or they don't see the cause of this, the reason for this. So if Ishvara is the reason, Satyam, Apradishtamte, Jagadaho, Anishwaram, Aparaspara Sambhudam. The only reason that we see for creation is the male-female union. That's what we find creation. Where is Ishvara? Where is Dharma? Where is order? All of them are adrushta. They're all so beyond sense perception. So those who only accept the sense perception as a pramanam, as a means of knowledge, and inference, etc., based on pratyaksha, for them, Ishvara is not pratyaksha. And what is pratyaksha or what is perceptible may not necessarily lead to the inference also, depending upon what the hetu is, what the evidence is, what the chinna, linga is. We find this linga, we find an order. So, but they don't find an order. To see the order of the universe also is a certain mindset. A mindset that accepts this law of cause and effect and recognizes that whatever effect is must have a cause. But those who don't have that mindset do not find an order at all in the universe. There is no satyam, there is no order. So therefore, we arrive at the existence of Ishvara when we carry out this chintanam or the deliberation in a certain way. Understand that? No, everybody will arrive at this. So tadaschena, lakshitasya. So basic shraddha we accept here, astika. So therefore these people are astika, Ishvara asti. They accept the pramanya of the Shastra, and Shastra says, so Shastra yonitvat. Shastra is yoni, which declares Ishvara and explains Ishvara, reveals Ishvara. So to them they arrive at the tadaschena lakshitasya. So in general we arrive at the existence of Ishvara, Swarupa Lakshana. What is the specific nature of Ishvara, the inherent characteristics? Vadan. Now the author who has composed this Mangalacharanam wants to tell us what is the Swarupa Lakshana, what is the inherent characteristic of Brahman. And it's stated in a certain way. So not only does the author want to tell us what the Swarupa Lakshanam is, but in so stating also wants to refute the conclusion of some other people. So, of the Vaisheshika Adimatam. Vaisheshika, Nayayikas also follow Vaisheshikas. So Vaisheshika Adimatam. What is their matam? We say that consciousness is the nature of Brahman. They say that Brahman is the Aspadam Ashraya, the locus of consciousness. For them, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Jnanam is not Jnanam in terms of the consciousness. Jnanam is the knowledge of which Brahman is a locus. So Brahman is Jnanavat, possessing the attribute of Jnanam. So that's what they said. Because according to them, Vaisheshikas, it's all Dravya, Atma also is a Dravya, etc., etc. And so, It becomes conscious only when it comes in contact with mind and stuff like that. So essentially it's unconscious. And conscious is the incidental attribute for according to Vaisheshikas. There were Sarvishaya Vedana Ashrayataya Sarvitvam. According to them, Atma is Ashraya, the locus of all the knowledge. It is not the nature of knowledge, understand? Atma is not consciousness. Atma is a conscious entity when it comes in contact with the mind, and then it becomes the locus of the knowledge. So Guna Guni Bhava is there. So therefore, we want to say that no, Brahman is not the locus of consciousness, Brahman is consciousness. See, locus means adhara, it's different from adheya. Locus is different from what is located. According to Vaisheshikas, consciousness is located in Brahman. We say no, consciousness is nature of Brahman. Brahman is consciousness, not possessing consciousness. Sarvishaya Vedana Ashrayataya. So they do accept Ishvara as Sarvit, all-knowing, but being the locus of all the knowledge. So, want to refute that view of the Vaisheshikas. So Chaitanya, it is not the locus of consciousness, it is consciousness. Chaitanya. So Chaitanya is the very first word. Chaitanyam, Sarvagam, Sarvam. So Tika says, then Chaitanyam, Sarvagam, Sarvam, Sarvabhuta Guhashem, Yat Tat Sarvishya. That is Yat, and so Yat Sarvishayatitam Tasmai. There is Yat and Tasmai. Tasmai is the fourth case of Tat. So thus Yat and Tat, the Sarvanamas also should be there. So therefore the Tika says, so that Yat, which is the first word of the second line, should be connected with the first word Chaitanyam. So Yat, that consciousness. Says Tika, Yat Chaitanyam Chitisvabhavam Jnanasvarupam Tasmai iti Yat Tat Shabdayoho Sambandha. Yat and Tat Shabdayoho Sambandha, they must be connected. What is referred to by Yat is what should be referred to by Tat. So that which, as in English. So Yat, that Chaitanyam, that consciousness. What is Chaitanyam? Chitisvabhavam. Not a conscious being, but of the nature of consciousness. Jnanasvaro, nature of Jnanam, you call it Chaitanya, Chetana you call it, Chiti you call it, Chit you call it, Jnanam you call it, Bodha you call it. Samvit, many words are used. Sometimes Chit, sometimes Chiti, sometimes Chaitanyam, sometimes Samvit, sometimes Jnanam, sometimes Bodha, etc. So Jnana Swarupam, of the nature of Jnanam, Tasmai, to that Chaitanyam, iti Yat Tat Shabdayo Sambandha. This is the connection between the words Yat and Tat means Tasmai. So on what basis do you say this? That Brahman is of the nature of consciousness. On what basis do you say that? So Tikakara says, Vijnanam Anandam Brahma Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Ityadi Shrutibhyaha. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Where did it come from? Brihadaranyaka. Which one? 3:9:28. चलो फुटनोट तो जो आवड़े છે વાંધો આપેલું છે બરાબર. So Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Brahma is Vijnanam. That's important here. Brahma is of the nature of Vijnana or consciousness. Satyam, Jnanam, and there also Jnanam word is important. Brahma is Jnanam. Satyam, Anantam, all right, but then Brahman is Jnanam. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. Brahma is Vijnanam. That's what the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says. Vijnanam is consciousness. Ityadi Shrutibhya. These and other Shruti statements clearly reveal Brahman to be of the nature of Vijnanam or Jnanam or consciousness. So what Vaisheshika say is Atma is Dravya possessing the quality of consciousness. So it possesses quality of consciousness, itself is unconscious. Unconscious Atma, when it comes in contact with mind, then consciousness manifests. Same thing, if Atma is unconscious and mind also is unconscious, how can consciousness manifest or evolve from two unconscious? And same example, like the bitter leaf and the lime. So bitter leaf is green, lime is white, and when you chew that, there is a red color. So red which is not in bitter leaf or in lime, how it manifests? Similarly also the consciousness which is not there in Atma or mind manifests. So therefore consciousness is the incidental attribute of Atma, which itself is what? Unconscious. To that the Tikakara says, Nahi achit svabhasya chid dharmakata yujyate na khalu anushna svabhavakam jalam ushnatva dharmakam bhavate iti bhavaha. How can achit svabhava? So that is unconscious. How can that be locus of consciousness which is mutually exclusive? Where consciousness is unconscious cannot be, where unconscious is consciousness cannot. How can unconscious be the locus of consciousness? Example is given. Nahi anushna svabhavakam jalam ushnato dharmakam bhavati. Water of which the nature is coolness cannot be the locus of heat. Meaning that water and heat cannot coexist. Water cannot be the locus of heat, cannot possess heat. Heat can be incidental quality because of contact with fire, is a different thing, but then otherwise, water which is anushna or cold in nature cannot be the locus of heat. Similarly also, anything according to you, Atma is unconscious in nature. How can unconscious Atma be the locus of consciousness? Therefore, Atma itself is consciousness, not the locus of consciousness. But then how can Chaitanya be all-knowing? Because to know also is a vikara. So says Tika, Chidekara sasyape sarvajñatvam mayopadhikam vyavaharikam iti anavadyam. So call it Sarvavit or Sarvajna is same thing. Sarvajna means all-knowing, Sarvit also means all-knowing. How can knowingness be there in Chaitanya, that is consciousness, says Chidekara sasyapi, that Brahman, which is of the nature of homogeneous consciousness, pure consciousness, Sarvajñatvam, that it is all-knowing, that knowingness, Mayopadhikam, because of the upadhi of Maya. Meaning that consciousness of Brahman is not inherently the knower, it gets a designation of knower because of Maya. So knowingness or knowerness is in Maya. Brahman is the adhishthanam, the substratum of Maya. Therefore, Brahman along with Maya becomes the knower or omniscient. So omniscience also is not the inherent nature of Brahman. So it is said earlier, how the omniscience was explained, just as the sun by the mere presence illumines everything, so also Brahman, but the mere presence illumines everything. In presence of Brahman, everything gets illumined and known. Therefore, in a secondary sense, you can say Brahman is all-knowing. In primary sense, if you want to say Brahman is all-knowing, there is only with reference to the upadhi of Maya. So, Maya upadikam Chaitanyam. Chaitanya, having the upadhi of Maya, becomes the Saguna Brahma, becomes the knower. The creator, sustainer, dissolver, knower, ordiner. All these attributes will primarily apply only to Ishvara, which is the Maya upadikam Chaitanyam. Chaitanya with the upadhi of Maya. So Chaitanyam cannot be called Sarvavit. Chaitanyam cannot be called all-knowing in primary sense. All-knowing also is the upadhi of Maya. It is anavadhyam. Because you call it Chaitanyam, consciousness on one hand, and consciousness is nirvikara, kutastha, changeless. How can changeless consciousness be all-knowing? Because all-knower also undergoes change. As the objects of knowledge change, the knower also undergoes the corresponding change. So if Chaitanya is all-knowing, then Chaitanya also will undergo change. Then it can't be Chaitanya, cannot be consciousness, cannot be kutastha, cannot be changeless. So how can Brahman be changeless consciousness and at the same time all-knowing? That's only when the upadhi of Maya. Meaning knowingness is in Maya. However, Maya on its own account cannot have knowingness. Maya being unconscious, therefore, cannot be knower in primary sense. It is only in presence of consciousness of Chaitanya that Maya becomes enlivened. And that's how it gains the ability to know. So again, Shrotrasya Shrotram, like everything. So, Amayoir Mahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dhamyam Samavas Sarabhutaram Tato Bhavati Bharata. Lord Krishna says that I impart the seed to the Brahma or Maya, and that's how the creation takes place. Thus, in presence of Brahman consciousness, Maya gets enlivened, and that's how the knowing, etc. takes place. So, Maya also is not all-knower by itself. Chaitanya also is not all-knower by itself. It is Maya in presence of Chaitanya, or Chaitanya, the upadhi of Maya, that becomes all-knowing. So you call it Savishesha Brahma, Upadhikam Brahma, Saguna Brahman. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.